All right, so I think that's going to wrap up topic one. So, Corey, what is your topic today?
So I brought a couple to the table, and I think I'm gonna go with a more serious one.
Oh
Like,
boy.
not it's not deathly serious,
Uh-huh.
but a more serious one, which is how do you personally push yourself out of your comfort zone, professionally, creatively, whatever?
Fuck. No, that's a good one.
Exactly. See, it's rough. The reason I ask, I'll tell my story and give you some time to ponder.
Hmm.
The reason I ask is I recently um, joined a improv class, and it's all over Zoom, which makes it kind of awkward, and which is another reason why I was like, I don't know if I should do this.
Mm.
But like, we have a really good relationship with a local theater called the Hideout Theater, and they do improv classes. They have free ones if anybody's watching and ever wants to try it out. They have free ones, and I took a free one that they like pitched to CA that they're like, hey, get like 10 volunteers and we'll do an improv class for you. And they kind of tailored it to business stuff, like, oh, how to have fun during meetings and stuff like that, which sounds really, cheesy, but it wasn't. It was really cool. And they gave us a discount for like the regular improv classes. And I was like, I don't know. It's over Zoom. And it's like, I feel like I'm good enough where I'm at, in the realm of improv. And so I was like, I don't know. And I ended up doing it, and it was like a ton of fun. And it's like, as somebody who is like social anxiety, I would give myself a solid 6.5 to 7.5 out of 10 on the social anxiety scale. Before the pandemic, I would have told you like 10 out of 10.
Hmm.
But let me tell you, I have reached my limit with not like seeing people,
Right.
which is Corey from 2 years ago would never have guessed that that was a possibility. So I had to lower my social anxiety meter a little bit. But yeah, anyway, so that was like a way that I like was like, oh yeah, I should do more of this. And I was going to go to more like concerts and stuff like that in 2020 before everything happened. And so that's what I was thinking is like, yeah, like this is how I do it, but everybody does different things. And so that was my thought process is I was like, I wonder what he's got
Hmm.
and if I can learn from him because maybe you have tricks that I do not know.
I don't know about tricks. Yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting one because it's been something I've been trying to figure out myself as well, like
Mm,
going forward. Because there's certain avenues I've definitely improved a lot in and like pushed myself and I feel like made progress in. Like, for example, never thought I'd be ever hosting a podcast or doing a live
yeah.
stream ever. I've just never been like the most social butterfly, and that's something I'm still like dealing with. Like we mentioned RTX in the last podcast, like going to events like that or Kind of Funny Live. Like you get the couple of people, you're like, oh, okay, these are my people, and then it's
This
like,
is the group.
yeah.
I'm
And other than
moving in
that,
this
it's like,
group.
how do I start a conversation with any of you? Yeah, we have all these common interests, but so.
Exactly. It's amazing. I go to RTX and stuff, and it's like, this sounds awful. This sounds awful. Like we're all here for common interests, but also don't talk to me.
Right, yeah. It's
It's
like I'm
like
good where I'm at.
I appreciate you being here and like everything, but like it's we understand. We have an understanding.
Yeah. So yeah, like this has been a challenge in itself, and I mean, I gotta think. I guess my tip and trick would be find people to do it with, because I wouldn't have
Mm.
gotten into YouTube or anything unless my friend John did originally. He's like, I want to do this thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll support you and do whatever I can. And then
Yeah.
a couple, like maybe a year later, he's like, okay, I'm good. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm having fun with it. I'll keep it up.
Yeah. Now I'm just here.
Yeah. And then finding other like-minded people to talk with, whether it's yourself or other people to invite on for the podcast, or like Extra Life's always a fun event that I've been doing since obviously I saw it with Kind of Funny, like spitballing ideas with people there or having people over to do the event. Like that's always been a blast. So yeah, I guess that would be one thing, is find people with common interests to do it. Um,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
yeah, another thing for me, I don't know, it's just kind of been like, I'll say with the podcast specifically, is I have to stay consistent. Nothing's going to do well if you don't stay consistent. And I'm not saying like, oh, we blew up and we're doing great on numbers. No, that's always going to be a thing that I'm behind on. But like, if I want it to do well, and I get in my head all the time of like, oh, this is bad. Oh, this is this, blah, blah, blah. It can't get better if I don't do anything about it. So I think that's a big motivator for me, is like, you're thinking all these thoughts of like, I want this to be good. I want this to be better, whatever it is. So do it, kind of thing. And, you know, that could be tough from time to time. Like, I don't feel like doing anything. I'm just going to chill or whatever. So kicking yourself in the butt to put yourself out there. For me specifically, like inviting people. Like, I think the next 2 months and a half, I have a guest lined up for every episode. I'm like, yes, this is great. Yeah. That's so awesome. It's just like sending them out. Like you said with Justin Eder, just like, hey, reach out. If people reply, great. Yeah. If not, you tried.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. 100%.
So, let's see. Jeff in the chat. Much better at promoting yourself than you were a year ago. Yeah, I don't know. That would just be repetition, and one of those things that just like, you got to be better at this.
I think about that with like the Justin Eder has its own Twitter account. And I'm like, man, I haven't posted that thing in forever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's a new episode out. And I'm like, no wonder, like nobody's liking it. And I'm like, yeah, the algorithm like doesn't throw that at all. Like, you haven't posted it forever. Like,
right.
Yeah. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah. That's something I definitely need to do better at. Like, I'm better at communicating it with it, I think. Like you mentioned with the rigmarole right at the beginning, like that comes out no problem. But yeah, that social interaction part, it's not like I can't do it. It's just like I'm not in that habit of doing it. I guess you would say. So yeah, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, like I know these avenues to do it. And like MC Fixer has been a big one that's like, hey, if you want things to grow, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, okay, crap, now I gotta do it, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, content wise, I would say just do it. But then there's a lot of avenues like I still don't feel 100% with, like still the social thing. Like, not that I don't want to talk to people, just like I said, making that breakthrough, I guess, step. Like, once Kind of Funny Live does happen again, will I be better at it? I don't know. We'll have to see.
Dude, I have such a crutch with that where it's like, I am so happy that the GIFs took off, because it's like I found it with RTX, which was so weird that like I had more than one person that was like, oh, you make the GIFs. And I was like, yes, like, that there's a first step,
right?
Like, which I know what you're talking about, because it's like, that's always the worst, is the beginning of it, especially like when you're at like in line, example, for like a Kind of Funny panel, where it's like, not only at RTX are we all here for the same thing, but we're all in this line specifically for Kind of Funny.
Right.
So it's like, this is, you know, such a concentrated thing. And like that first step is always the worst. So yeah, I'm so excited for Kind of Funny Live. Whenever the next one is, with the office opening party and everything. For a lot of reasons, but one of them is it's like, all right, well now, like I feel pretty confident that I can go in and talk to a lot of those people, and especially like Kind of Funny, we've all been in this online community for a while now, so it's like, oh, it's Lexi Gunner, oh, it's Gifted Dim, like you know, you just have those people that you know, and they can come up to you and like, hey man, that it happened with Jake Buckeridge, I believe his name is. At RTX, where he was like, hey man, I tweet, we tweet all the time and we're in chat. I'm like,
there you go.
Sweet. Yes. That's awesome to meet you, man. So yeah, that's always another little, is like, oh, if you've already talked to each other online, even though you don't know that you know the person, it's like a lot easier.
For sure. Yeah, I think the only last thing that I can think about to help myself push past stuff, this past year, obviously being a shit show that it is, being home, I've gotten like a planner, like I think it's a, whatchamacallit, like a school seminar. Yeah, it's a big, I got a big one, but just writing things down.
I thought this was going to be so much bigger. I ordered it and I was like,
oh,
okay, it's tiny.
Yeah. So just writing things down that either I want to accomplish or something like that, because I'll always have like, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to do that, and then 30 minutes later forgot what it was or whatever. Yes. So trying to stick with that and be consistent once again. But consistency is the big thing that I feel like if I get that down, at least I know I'm putting the effort in, so hopefully that growth can happen. And like I said, there's areas I still need to improve at, like I mentioned, viewership. Like, not a lot of people listen to this, not a lot of people watch stream, but I feel happy with it. If I just keep pushing, I feel like more people will latch on, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I've definitely found that, like, because I did, YouTube videos for like 5 years before I got the job at the news station. And it's like, yeah, like, you're really not going to do numbers, for the long, most people will not do numbers. But as long as you're happy and you're feeling fulfilled with the content, it's like, it doesn't really matter how many people are watching it. I found that with the Just Editor podcast. I think our highest viewed episode is the Jeff Ford, and it's only at 250 views, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
But for me, I was like, oh, it's 250 views.
Yeah.
But it's like that on top of getting to actually talk to him. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, that's, as long as you're happy with just the production itself, I think, the rest of it is just icing on the cake, really.
Yeah, it'll all fall in the line. And that's the big challenge, is finding that level that you get happy, because you don't want to be over stressed about things and overthinking it, because then it's just like, oh no, this is not good.
It's not as much fun. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think that's what I got for just pushing past stuff. I don't know if that's helpful or whatever, but it's always a constant thing to work on and challenge. And like I said, next convention, whatever it is, it will be sounds weird, but a big test. Okay, how much can I do?
Yep, exactly. I feel the exact same way, where it's like, whatever that next thing that I do that's like a bigger group of people, like, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be an interesting one for even the best of us, because a lot of people, haven't been around people. A lot of people shouldn't have been around people, but have been. And so they've been keeping them skills sharp, but a lot of people just haven't been around other people. And I saw a tweet like last week or something that's like, man, that first con back is going to be a shit show. And it's like, it really will be. People are just going to be like, I don't know how to say things to you. Yeah.
I've been in my own place.
Video games?
I've been in my place for a year. How do I communicate with people? Great. Oh boy. All right. I think that wraps on topic 2. Anything else you wanted to add onto that?
No, I think I'm good with it.
Cool. Well, I like that one. That was a good topic.